Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So let's wait for some time. Meanwhile, we can discuss uh, that we covered so far. Okay. So, do you have anything to discuss at this moment? Make sure if you have something so that just make a note and send it over the same session so that I can collect all those questions and maybe we can discuss in next session. Hope it's clear for everyone. Meanwhile, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, but make sure you guys need to join at the same time so that we can respect all other times as well. I'm sharing my screen. I'm closing some unnecessary window here first. Let me know if my screen is visible for everyone. Power FX. Yeah, Power FX also I will explain you when we will talk about more on the Canvas app. But this is just for high level understanding, like whatever we are learning. So you need to understand the types of applications and types of power application, power apps, whatever we are having at this moment. So now today we will talk about module 2 solution and ALM process, whatever we have. So in this second module, we will mostly cover the solution and solution component and what types of solution component we are having and why we need to create a solution here. Types of solutions, what is the difference between those solution? We have actually three types of solution: managed, unmanaged, and default solution. So by default, if we are creating anything, it will add automatically into the default solution. I will explain you from beginning, like what is the use of those component here. Okay, so if we talk about the solution part, let me just open a environment where I can show you what is the solution and why we are creating a solution. Hope you uh, you guys have already that trial environment access. If you are facing any issue, just let me know. And if you are facing any error, any specific issues for creating any trial environment, just let me know. We will talk on that issues. maybe you have all this environment access. So I will tell you where we have to go to get that environment access. So either you can directly open that Power Apps environment. You can open that Power Apps environment from here, or second option here is, if you don't want to open from here, you can open that environment from this gear icon box. Here click this icon and you are able to see multiple option here, and then you can click here advanced setting. So if you are going through advanced setting, you are able to see this Power Platform setting here, and then you can navigate into the left navigation side under customization. You are able to see this solution component here. You can create from here itself. So before creating any solution, so you should know the purpose of this particular component. When we have to create a solution, why this solution is so important, what is the benefit if we are creating a solution in initial stage only. So here this is Power Apps platform. Even we can open this solution management from our native apps. So I will show you. This is the old CRM UI. Here in this particular three dot, we can switch to the classic UI as well. So why, let me explain you from beginning so that you guys have better understanding. So what is the solution here and what types of component we are having? So in this Microsoft Power Platform, here solution is a container like a package that store customization and components so that they can manage and they can transport from one environment to another environment. How we are moving those one, that is a separate here strategy. How we are moving, either it is a manual import export utility or we are deploying with the help of CI/CD pipeline. So here we may have two types of here solution. It could be managed solution, it could be unmanaged solution, but you should understand why we are creating a solution here. So it is a container where we can store all those components. What types of component we can add, and why we are requiring this particular solution here. So suppose, because we cannot develop directly in the production environment. So why we need dev, test, UAT and production environment? So we have to build a process where we can optimize our process, this complete process. So in development environment, our development team, they have to develop everything, and once they develop something, they have to add, developer team to add all those components into one specific place, that is called component inside this solution. So we are creating a solution. So solution should have a specific naming convention. The purpose of naming convention, so that everyone know, like suppose we have 10 team members. So it is not like B may maintain as a company or as a organization, B may maintain a consolidated solution, and B are adding all are required or development component into that specific solution, and B are utilizing that common solution only. So I will show you instead of here explaining more. So a solution is a structured package that contains all configuration and customization component which required or which is very important, which we have implemented as a to implement a business functionality. So a solution can include, it can include tables, it can include columns, it can include forms, business rules, workflow, plugins, and blah blah, whatever we have. So let me try to create a solution here. Then we can discuss further. So suppose this is my solution here. Okay, I will explain you one more thing here. Publisher, let me explain one more thing here. So we have a publisher. What is the benefit of that publisher actually? Let me tell you. So in a company, publisher is nothing. Publisher is a identifier. Like suppose if in one company, if multiple teams or multiple different person are working into the same environment. Suppose there is a very big company, and even some of the features one company is implementing, some of the features another company is implementing, and some of the feature Microsoft are working to enhance their product capability. So here we can define who actually work this specific feature, so that we can differentiate what types of information we have built here. So let me just try to create a basic solution here, base solution, and the purpose of those solution here. Suppose the naming convention. What types of naming convention here maybe we can maintain? Suppose this, if we are maintaining as a consolidated solution, concept here. So we can create a solution with the name of like phase one, phase one release item. So here we have two types of fields, display name and the name. This should be unique here. If we have created a solution, we cannot change this name value, but we can change this display name. So here display name and name we have, and there is a field here publisher that we discussed about. So even we can create a new publisher as well. Look for more record. So suppose I can create a new publisher, and I can initiate like how many field. Yeah, so there is one question like Anjali asked, is there a way can we get a copy of those documents? Yes, I will share all those information. Maybe I will try how to upload those documents into this same place only. Otherwise, I will upload those particular documents in Google Drive, and I will share that link with you. Okay, so we were talking about publisher name. So publisher name means suppose there are multiple companies. One company is TCS, one company is Wipro, one company is Infosys. They are working for a government project. So, but there are some specific features they are working individually. So maybe suppose there is a process or there is a publisher name, we can create TCS. So here TCS, and here we can change prefix name. Prefix means if we are working, we are specifically, we can maintain this specific prefix. So what is the benefit of prefix? Earlier the default prefix is new. So if we are changing that one, it will always change this uh, name preview. So if we are creating any new field, it will start from TCS underscore that specific name. So here we can provide some additional information for this publisher, like this is a company information, so that we can identify who worked this particular features. So suppose I am saving here. So you would understand what is the benefit of this publisher name. So here I have selected this publisher. It means this particular solution is developed or created by this publisher name. It means TCS created this solution. And here this specific piece, versioning control, this is very important information you should understand. Most of the candidates, they are not even able to understand the benefit and the purpose. So they just write some number, but they are not able to understand the benefit of this particular version control. This is very important to manage our code. So I will explain you why I have written in this specific format. So here I can see four value: 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me show you one more place. Here I have maintained this here version control. So I will explain you in detail. So what is the benefit here of those version control when we are creating a solution? This is very basic. It will take some time, but it will you know uh, give you better clarity to proceed further. So it is not like we have to remember everything, but you should understand the purpose of this versioning control and how we are maintaining. Not only we, most of the organization, they are following the same process. And maybe when you all are working with Microsoft or maybe other big organization, maybe top big company, so you should understand this versioning control and the benefit of this versioning control. We will understand maybe after this document. So version control is a practice of maintaining and tracking different versions of a solution to manage updates, bug fixes, or enhancement, whatever we are doing in a systematically way. So each solution has a version number. Like if we can have this version number, so first number is denoted by major, second one is minor, and then build number, and then last one is revision number. So it means if there is a here solution version structure here, we have to maintain in such a manner so that if we have this 2.3.1.0, it means 2 is a major release, big changes, or new modules. So initial days, I will tell you, just I need to open one Excel sheet. So when Microsoft releases first version of that Microsoft, what now in a day we are seeing there is a different version here, 9.2 point something. But initial day they have raised like uh, here major, minor, build, and revision. So initial day they initiated with this particular version. After some time, they identify, hey, there is some issue in this particular version. So they have initiated some bug fix, they have fixed some bugs, and they have released next version. So they have revised, they have not changed much on this that version, but they have changed something. So they are keep increasing 1.0 point 0 point maybe 2, maybe similar to 1.0 point 0 point maybe 3. Similarly, they did n number of revision here. After doing multiple revision, they think like, hey, those are the very, you know, uh, minimum here bug we are having. So they keep increasing this particular version, and maybe next time they provided a build bug fix, major bug fix, and then they moved into dev to UAT maybe, and UAT to production. And what is the benefit of this minor release here? Feature enhancement. Suppose we have given some bug fixes, then we are increasing this number. But if we are giving some minor release, not the major release, then we are increasing this particular version here, this one. So suppose if you have added one field, two field, you have done some minimum configuration, then you are increasing this number only. Like this is 0, this is 0, and this is 1. But there is a some feature enhancement, like you have created two or three new features and you are releasing that one. So you can release like one, and then maybe it could be 0, and here in this particular manner. So if you are releasing into that release, including minor release, then you are increasing this feature enhancement number. If you are releasing into, in such a manner so that you have changed, major things into your product, then you are increasing this particular series. So it means 2.0.0.0. I hope it's clear for everyone. So now in a day, Microsoft uh, releasing this one till to 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, and now we have 9.2 point something. So how we can check that version, current version? You know, maybe here you can check this particular version from where we can see that version. About. So here you can see the server version is 9.2 point. Here those are very big number. If we are checking here, it include same sequence. This one is one, this one is one. So they are releasing how much, from 1.0 point something to 9.2 points, this particular one. They took approximate 25 to 26 year. So it is not like every time they are releasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They maintain this versioning control in such a manner so that at least for minimal version control they are increasing here, and for even the feature enhancement they are doing here, and even the version that that minor increment they are doing here, and the major release they are doing here. In this manner they are giving the release. So we can understand initial release, this one, small enhancement, this one, bug fixes, maybe for this same release 1.1.0, major release 2.0.0. So I hope it's clear for everyone. This is not that much complex. So manage and unmanage, I will let you know, but let's create one solution here and then maybe we can move further. And what types of even here component we have to add? Where is that solution? So because this is our first version, so we have created in this manner. So suppose I have added this particular information and I just save it. So once I save it, the name will be display here, and even I have if I need to verify who is the publisher, so I can open here, and even I can change this publisher as well. Even I can rename this name, display name, but I cannot change this information. So let's try to, we have two option here. I have created one solution. Either I can include existing record, existing component, or I can create new component from the solution itself. How we can do that part? So suppose I am going to create one entity or tables. So I need to create one new feature or new enhancement. So I'm going to create one tables. So yesterday maybe we have created a student master. Maybe here what we can create here today, student maybe registration. Registration entity I'm going to create here. Display name, it's required a display name, and there is a plural name here. We will give this. So here if you are able to see name, it is showing TCS underscore registration. What is the meaning of this TCS? Where, because we have not created this one, but we have created a publisher name with prefix as TCS. That's why it is showing the TCS here. So the display name or this schema name should be TCS underscore registration here. So here, if I'm going to create a new entity, so it can ask some additional information like, hey, is this a virtual entity? I will tell you what is virtual entity here, what is the difference between the normal entity and virtual entity, and even here the ownership of this entity. It could be users or team, or it could be organization base. So what is the difference here? Which one we have to select, and when we have to select user or team, and when we have to select organization? So we'll talk that differentiation maybe later in detail. But as of now, I'm selecting here user and team, and I will show you what types of different field here I'm able to see. And I would like to showcase some more information here. So here you are able to see there are some option, additional option are here. You can check, there are some by default information are selected here, and even you can select additional information also. So here we have feedback form, here we have notes, here we have activities, connectors, and even sending emails, mail merge, documents, access team, queue, knowledge management, enable for SLA, allow quick create form, auditing, and all blah blah. There are uh, here multiple information that we can even perform, and we can select here. But I will let you know what types of information here, but I'm not going to explain in detail here for all those feature. But once we are working more on this one, I will explain you on time to time. So here we can see there is a define as an activity entity. So what is the benefit, or why this feature is showing here? What is the difference if we are selecting here as a this checkbox? Then what will happen? So that part here we will discuss, and even we will understand the benefit of this one. But I will save it. I'm going to create this entity as user and team registration one. So it is creating from backend. Because I have created this entity directly from solution, so it will create a prefix here as a whatever we have decided. Even if I'm going to create a entity outside this solution, it will create, I can show you that one as well, why we are creating entity and components from the solution itself. So it is showing one pop-up event. What is the benefit, and what why that pop-up is coming? So there are some backend process are going on. So it is taking some time. So it is saying you can wait for them to become responsive or exit this page. So it it is asking for wait or exit this page. So let's wait for some time, till the time it will create some process in the backend. Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can ask. I'm also watching this section, so that if you are asking something, I can also give answer real time as well. Here, even in the left hand side, meanwhile, you are able to see information. Here, forms, views, charts, fields, and even relationship, and even you are able to see business rule. So let's wait for creating this entity, and then we'll see what will happen. So in backend, even if we have not done much here, what we have done only, we have given this entity name, we have given here the plural name, and we have just even we have not changed ownership as well. We just create this one, we have saved this one, and there is one table is created in the backend, and you can see here, this is the schema name. Here in this particular entity, here you can see forms. So this is because we are working here for a model driven app. So in model driven app, so all the UI part, it will automatically generated. So you need not to worry about that one. So here we can see by default there are three forms are created. One is card, main, and quick view form. So what is the purpose of those component here? So okay, we'll talk about later all those information. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 form are created by default. There are some chart, maybe you can create from here. By default you can see 19 fields are created automatically. If you have selected this entity as user or team, how much? 19. Just ping this number so that I can understand you are watching, you know, and you are able to understand, or you are able to listen this one. So here you can see key. So in user and team, how much field by defaults are creating? 16 or 19. Relationship, here we are able to see there are by default 9 relationship. One to n relationship are 9, n to 1 relationship are 8, and even n to n relationship, How much relationship? Nothing. So there is no business rule. Why defaults are created? Hierarchy setting, no hierarchy setting. Even dashboard also blank by default. So here you can see this particular entity you have created from solution. So this entity is user type. If suppose I am going to create one master entity, so okay, I will create one country master. Now I'm going to change this user team to organization level. Then what is the difference here? Okay, so suppose I'm going to save this one without changing anything. Let's see. So we will compare forms, we will compare view, we will compare fields, we will compare relationship, and we'll see what is the difference here. So quickly, can you, if you are able to recall, how many fields are created by default for uh, user or owner team? Just type quickly. Previously, when we have created fields by default, right? I think Priya is there. Others are sleeping. Okay, good. Okay, so let's wait for this entity. Let's see how many fields are created by default if we have selected this organization level entity. So here I can see the count here is 16. So what is the difference here? So earlier 19 and now we have 16 field. So the difference here is we have three field which are not created. So what types of those fields we are having? Can we compare? Version number we have here, and this registration entity form, maybe we can compare here. Okay, here I can see 16, I can see 19 here. So let me sort by this. So here in registration, this is registration entity left hand side, and right hand side I have country master. Country master is a organization based entity. So here version number, UTC, name, status, owner. So I can see there are two, three fields which are additionally created here. Organization, okay, organization ID is here, but here you are able to see owner user, owning team, owning business unit, and owner ID. Those four fields are not there in the organization level, but organization ID is not available in this user or owning team. So that is the difference here. We'll discuss those items in details when we will discuss in security roles and security team. But you should understand, if we have selected any entity as user level or teams, we have some additional field created by default. And if we have selected any entity as organization level, so we have some different set of fields by default created in the system. So here, suppose I have added those field here. All the fields are added by default because I have created this entity from solution itself. So I have one more option, like these two entity I have created, newly created. So I can add some additional entity or field from the system, which may be Microsoft provided, maybe some another organization or some another solution. I can see those entity. So suppose I'm going to add few entity here, and only some few component I just want to add. Maybe quickly I can add contact entity as well. So I'm going to select this contact entity. I'm going to click OK, and then we can select, like we have option to select only required component. Like I can choose here, include entity metadata and include all access. If I'm going to select all, so it will select all by default. If I'm going to choose only required component, so I can move only, or I can select required component only into this solution. And even I can select only required component from view section as well. Even I can move some additional field only here which are required, or which are, I have changed something. So in contact entity I have selected, maybe in account or in contact one, I can select here based on my need. So I selected and I have completed this process. So here I can see there are specific pop-up window is coming. The purpose of this pop-up is, do you want the system is detected there are some dependent component? Do you want to add those component as well, so that it will not show the dependency? Why it is showing or why it is checking? Because if suppose if we are moving some required component from one environment to another environment, maybe it may fail due to dependency. Because suppose if some other features, or to complete some feature, maybe I have created some entity, some field, maybe some custom HTML, so it may be required some dependent field. So it is checking like, is there any dependency? So I can add by default, or I can skip those one as well. I don't want to add all the component here. It's up to us. So I have added here four entity: account, contact, country master, and registration. So in this particular solution, I have option to select option set, sitemap, application driven, web resource, process, assembly, SDK, and all those component here I can add here as part of my solution component. So maybe you can, check, and you can list down all those component, like how many, you know option or how many component we can add in a solution. Is there any limitations to add number of component, or the maximum limit of a solution if we are importing from one environment to another environment? You can check and you can ping me here. Okay, so here I can add process, I can add plugin assembly. We will talk about all those component maybe once we are working here. But why I'm showing here all those component? Because Here we are discussing today the solution and component. So now what we have covered here so far, like how to create a solution, what is the solution, so what is the benefit here to create a solution. So in this particular solution, we have created the solution in dev environment and we are working, and maybe if required we have two options. Suppose I just give you one example. Suppose we have a requirement like I have to create one new form or one new entity, and under that one form I need to create 10 new field, and I need to place all those 10 fields into the form, and I have to publish it. So I have, you know, one option. Hypothetically, this is I can, I have worked, I have showcased all those information, but I don't have any option so that I can move that those component from dev to UAT or production. So what I have to do? Whatever I have done, I have completed. Same thing I have to perform in our upper environment. So that is rework. But Microsoft has provided one option like you can develop your feature, you can, you know, ask your testing team to test those component into test environment. Once they tested and they accepted like, hey, this is the feature that we are required, and we supposed to get this particular feature in same manner only, you can directly move that particular solution into your or testing environment or UAT environment. So in solution, you can prepare a solution and you can add required component and you can move. And you can main what you can add into solution. I have showcased practically tables, columns, forms, views, business rule, workflow, plugins, web resource, security role, model driven apps, dashboard, option set. I will show you what types of component we have, but basically everything you can build and you can add a consolidated component. Why do we need solution? So this is a application life cycle. So uh, suppose if we have developed something in development environment, we need to move into testing environment, and then if testing is completed we have to move into the production environment. That is the completely, you know, development process. Development, testing, and deploy into production. Versioning control that we already covered. I think you guys have major this particular clarity, like what is the incremental and what is the major version here, so that we can follow in this particular manner. So now we have controlled deployment. So here what we have to do, this is export from one environment and import into another environment. I will tell you, suppose if we have created one and solution, so we have a option, we can export it. We have, we can publish it, whatever we have done we can publish it, we can move into next stage. Maybe most of the it is asking for, hey, these are the component, those are mixed into this solution, but there is a dependency here. Either if those components are already moved, you can skip those this particular one and you can even move into that. So here you can see manage and unmanage. So we have two types of solution: manage or unmanaged solution. If suppose you are moving one dev environment to another development environment, so we are supposed to export it as a unmanaged solution. Otherwise we will always export it as a managed component. Here export it, it will take some time to build something. So what happen in backend? So there are some services, they are working and they are creating some specific format solution, and that solution will be exported here. I will show you what types of component we are having into that solution. It is not like a magic, but all Microsoft provided that features, we are exporting it. So now we will move into next stage. So versioning control we already did. So control deployment, team collaboration. Multiple developers can work using structured solution. So suppose if we are working, multiple developers are working, there is a big organization, huge organization. So it is not like one or two developers are working here. So in that case, in same solution, even multiple developers are utilize the same solution and they can add their component into the same solution. Types of solution. So I told you initially. So there is a default solution also. Suppose we have created one solution. Similarly, what types of component we have created, those components already available in that solution. And system, that is system generated solution, contains all component in that solution. Suppose if one person is created something and I want to check what types of component we are having, is there any master entity for country, so I can check in the default solution itself. Unmanaged solution, so like similarly we have exported one solution which is under unmanaged managed solution. So here the solution here is, this is the solution name, phase 1 release 1 dot 1 underscore 0 underscore 0 underscore 0 underscore manage. If it is a manage, it will add manage to identify. So here if I want to check what types of information it is having, so I can open it. I can check. Hey, it is containing all those information in a specific format. This format is XML format. So I want to check some more information in other folder like what we have in customization folder. So it is also containing some specific XML format, so that because Microsoft only understand XML format, and it should not suppose some of the developer they are even changing in the XML format as well if they need to change something. But if you are having proper information related to this solution management. Now again, if you are checking, let me open the document so that we can complete quickly. We are almost completing our time. So unmanaged solution used in deployment, editable after importing, good for internal deployment or development work. Suppose I'm going to deploy this particular solution into another development environment, so I can use unmanaged solution only. It is editable. If it is imported, even if I'm going to delete that solution, it will not delete the existing features whatever I have imported. We'll talk later, maybe once we have other section of those manage or unmanage. And manage solution is nothing when we are deploying or we are exporting those component to move into upper environment. It could be UAT or it could be production environment. Locked by default, we cannot edit those component directly, cannot directly modify, and even used for controlled release. So controlled release means suppose if I need to roll back those component, I can do it quickly after uninstalling that particular solution. So you can suppose I will give you one real time example here. For suppose if you need to create a sales automation process, so what you have to do, you have to create some custom tables, lead qualification process. Uh, so lead qualification, you need to create some new field, you need to create some business rules, you need to create some maybe JavaScript for validation, security roles, or model driven apps. So in that one, then you need to create one solution. It could be sales qualification or lead qualification or maybe sales automation modules. And so you need to export that solution from dev environment, and then what you have to do, import into test environment. After testing, you have to after UAT import into the production. Once your team completed that testing and bug fixing everything, and even you got sign off, and even you are going to get approval from the business, and then it's ready to move into the production environment. Without solution structure deployment, it is impossible to perform this particular activity. That's why solutions come into the picture. Now, solutioning layer concept comes into picture. What is solution layer? You heard about solution, but you have to know the solutioning layer, because if you are working manage and unmanaged solution, then solution layers comes into the picture. In Microsoft 365 CRM, Microsoft Power Automate, solutioning layers defines how multiple solution affects the same component. What it means, like in a same table, if how many times suppose one field is modified, how many times one form is modified, how many times one other component is modified. So it completely take a decision, like suppose if you have changed one form as part of one requirement, you have added one field in one section. In another requirement, someone ask, hey, just replace this field into this different place. In that sequence, if versioning control is not following and everything you moved into production, so that particular field should display in which particular place. So how you will decide? So that decide that solution layer. So maybe in first versioning layer is this one. In second import, that maybe the solution layer is different. So all those customization is handled by solutioning layer. So what is the definition if we talk about the solution layer? Solution layer is a order in which system and custom solution are applied on a component, where the top layer layers override the layers below it. So it what it means? So suppose if you have developed something in solution 1. Solution 1, you have developed something, feature 1, feature 1 means F1, solution 2, maybe features 2, F2, solution 3, maybe F3. So how system will understand like which particular component I need to display on top of it. So based on the versioning control, like version B1, B2 or B3, it will handle all those decision. I hope it's clear for everyone. Type yes or no. Okay, definition here we already discussed. Layering order, bottom to top. Priority is, here we will discuss priority. So system layer is, yani it means base Microsoft layer. So whatever Microsoft is provided, that is called system layer. And manage layer, like whatever we are developing, we are moving as a part of that component, it will treat as manage layer. And whatever, we suppose if we have done something directly in the production environment, that is called unmanaged layer. It will create an unmanaged layer that will be on top of every uh, layering part. So suppose there is a requirement. So someone told like, hey, I need to create one field in the production environment. So what happened? When developers directly go into the production, he has created that field in the production environment directly. What will happen? It will create a unmanaged layer if we have managed component. So it is not recommended to do direct change in the production environment. It will create a unmanaged layer, and it will create always problems if we are doing proper management. So layer structure is System layer, base layer, created by Microsoft, default tables, accounts, contacts, lead, out of the box forms and fields under base layer cannot be modified directly. Second is manage layer. Manage. So this particular questions comes for mostly all the interviews. Do you have any idea like what is the solution layer? What is the priority of the layering part? So you should understand all those information very, you know, clarity with clarity. So system layer, base layer, manage solution layer comes from installed manage solution. Suppose I have created this solution, I'm going to install that solution into production or UAT. It will create a manage layer. So example, ISB solution, core based solution, business solution, logged in production can override system component, right? So maybe it could be changed by this particular layer only. If multiple managed solution modify the same component, the latest modified or latest imported version or solution will be on top of it. Similarly, I have given you example. So if one component is part of solution 1, it is also part of solution 2, and if it is part of solution 3. So whatever you have changed in F1, F2 will override that particular component. If you have changed similar form into F3 as well, it will also override F2. If you deleted F3, it will show F2. If we deleted F2, it will show F1. Likewise, it will show. Unmanaged layer, this is always high priority. So created in deployment, manual customization, always override managed layer. So suppose if you have directly created anything or you have customized directly in the production environment, it will create unmanaged layer and that will always on high priority. So dev environment behavior may be different from environment. So real time scenario I will give you. If suppose system form have 5 form, managed solution added 2 new form, and unmanaged customization hide 1 form, 1 field. So user see changes from the unmanaged layer only. So those changes which are under managed solution, those will not reflect till the times that unmanaged layer are there. So what we have to do, we have to delete that unmanaged layer, then only this those particular changes are reflecting in that particular solution. So sometimes we are able to see, hey, my changes are not reflecting. So due to that unmanaged layer, we are getting that level of issues. So upgrade and we'll discuss. There are more even point to discuss here. So best practice, what we have, avoid unmanaged customization in the production directly. Use managed solution for deployment. Minimize overlapping modification. Check solution layer optimization component properties when debugging. Follow proper versioning strategy. So what we have to do, avoid unmanaged customization directly production. uh, we have to deploy only managed component and check solution layers. If you are getting any issue like whatever you have deployed, those are not reflecting in the production. So that level of work we have to do in the during production deployment. Is there anything we have to discuss here? Burgeoning control, compliance one. You can go through all those documents. I will try to share all those information with you, and you can try to read all those components, and you will get more clarity. So, guys, we mostly cover most of the here content based on this module 2, solution and solution component, managed versus unmanaged component. Application life cycle we will discuss maybe tomorrow or maybe on Monday Mostly I will try to give one more session maybe in daytime if I have some time. Otherwise we'll connect on Monday directly. This is one update for everyone. I will give the same update over the even I will add one post. Do you have anything to discuss now, or we are good to wrap up for today? Otherwise we can close. Have a good time, have a good night, have a good weekend. Bye, good night.